Hi guys, it's time for a quick cancer update. I know it's long overdue, but since we're here at the Barrows Institute, I figured we'd get you back in the loop.
Hi, and welcome to Yeti at Large. This is a channel focused on making the most out of what you have, no matter where you're at. Thanks for tuning in and helping out.
So we're here in Central Phoenix at St. Joseph's Hospital. It's a Dignity hospital at the Barrows Institute. This is where the doctor who biopsied the tumor on my throat performed that surgery right around Christmas Eve of 2025. Well, we're almost to the end of April in 2026, and it's time for a follow-up with that surgeon. Quick update, it's been about 9-10 weeks since we finished chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and we have another 3.5 weeks to go before we do another PET scan to determine if there's any living cancer in my body. Now, a PET scan is a CT scan, but they inject you with a dichromatic fluorescing glucose, which is supposed to go right to the cancer cells to tell the doctor looking at the image if there's any living cancer in my body. You got to wait 90 days after therapy to let all of the radiation and chemotherapy do its thing completely so they can get an honest read. We're not going to start worrying and stressing about this until about the 48 hours before it's scheduled, because otherwise you'd make yourself nuts trying to follow up. Symptoms. I lost 40 pounds during chemo and radiation. I've gained 10 pounds of that back, and I'm happy to report it's all been muscle, none of it's been fat. At 57 years of age, when you gain weight rapidly, it's almost guaranteed to be visceral fat, which is a death sentence. So I've been back at the YMCA, and I'm working out 3, maybe 4 times a week. It's light workouts, nothing insanely heavy, designed for flexibility, dexterity, and range of motion with a little bit of strength training. So I feel the 10 pounds that I have gained back from my bottom of 212 has been a benefit, and I hope to keep that up back into 232 pounds to gain 20 pounds back, but I'll keep you tuned in on that. Symptoms. I still have the worst sore throat known to mankind. It has been a persistent sore throat since around Thanksgiving. You think you get used to living with it, but it has been just god-awful. Drainage, lack of taste, difficulty eating, all of that still comes and goes, albeit I'm doing much, much better than I was when I went 7-8 days without eating at all. But the real casualty of this whole cancer process isn't what I expected. Let's get off this rooftop, we'll hit the sky bridge here and find someplace quiet to film and talk about some of the unexpected stuff. Come on. So we found a quiet space at the end of this never-ending hallway. Hospitals are full of these things. This way we can respect other people's privacy. So never mind the hallway footage. Sitting here in the appointment in the waiting room, everything changed about my perspective. I'm waiting on the doctor to come in now. They've sprayed my nose because they're going to put a camera up my nose and down the back of my throat to look at the surgery site. As soon as we're done here, we'll find another quiet place and talk about that perspective coming out of this. So the appointment's over, and I got good news and I got bad news. They sent me to the phlebotomist for another cancer marker NAV-DX blood kit. That's part of the bad news. Let's find some place to talk where we're not in a nasty stairwell before I drop this off with the front desk people. Walking out of the hospital, I came across this stained glass window. Couldn't help but notice the all-seeing eye in the middle of it. Thought it was crazy. Anyway, let's do that quick update, but let's see if we can do it in a place where the glare isn't so bad. There. All right. First thing the doctor said, I put a scope down my nose, looked at the tumor, and he likes where things are at, and he explained why we give 90 days post-treatment before we do a PET scan to see what we're looking at. Requested a follow-up appointment a couple weeks after the PET scan, but immediately said surgery to remove this lymph node, ectomy, something or another. He's not satisfied with how pronounced it is, how hard it is, and thinks it may need to be surgically removed from the outside in. Okay, Didn't say anything to deal with cancer because he wouldn't know, but he does like the way everything looks on the inside of my throat. The reason I scrapped the original video that I recorded in that hallway was the tremendous emotional impact of this appointment. Now look, you brace yourself with these appointments that these doctors could say things, and it's tough to hear. But the first thing I noticed was I was sitting in the lobby and I was the only one there by myself. Everyone else had a member of their care support team with them. You know, for most people that's a spouse, an adult child, whatever the case may be. But I was the only one that was alone, and that ties directly into the profound struggle and observation I've been dealing with for the last several weeks and why I haven't posted post-therapy. In order to be respectful and appropriate and polite, I'm going to refer to the relationship that just ended in my life as the primary caregiver. That ended nearly the exact same day my treatment ended. And a statement was made where this person, she said, I didn't sign up for cancer. Well, neither did I, but I don't have a choice. This person did. Now, we can be honest with each other, and we know darn well that that relationship didn't end because of cancer. Cancer was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's the thing I want to warn you about and encourage you to safeguard against. And that is making sure that your house is in order. See, dealing with cancer takes everything. There's nothing left over. You have no reserves, and you don't have the ability to manage and maintain things that maybe took a great deal of effort previously. You just won't have that ability. You'll have to focus 100% of what you have on basic health. Getting out of bed in the morning, drinking water, maybe eating food, who knows, getting to your appointments. But make sure that house is in order. Be honest with yourself and the people around you. Now, I put a great deal of effort into the relationship with this primary care provider, and it didn't end because of cancer. But the facade that I had built trying to support and nurture this relationship wasn't 100% honest. And it's not that I was deceitful, it's that you try to be the best person you think this individual wants. And that individual rejected the person I was trying to be, not maybe the actual person I was, because during cancer, all of those efforts filtered out and we were left with a version that neither I or they anticipated, planned, or apparently liked. So, dealing with cancer takes honesty, a great deal of honesty. I'm being honest with you here, trying to be respectful, but you need to be honest with yourself and the people in your life. Now, I tried to minimize any request of my care team, and I had a larger care team, and I still have a care team in place. God bless them. They're not here today. I'm here by myself, but they're still there and doing some heavy lifting. But I asked the bare minimum of them, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe at some point I should ask what I need, not what I think they're willing to give. And if the answer is no, that's fine. The outcome's the same. But be honest with them. And you might be a bad patient. You might be cranky and irritable and unpleasant to be around. Okay, be honest with yourself about that, and be honest with the people around you and tell them, I'm sorry, I don't mean it. I don't mean anything personal about it. I'm just that unhappy. I can't control it. I think that's a better outcome than trying to manage things for people and having the artificial experience rejected on top of everything else. So that's why we were so late in posting. And I will tell you this though, we get up every morning, we face the day, we show gratitude, we give thanks, and then we get it done. And we go to war every day because we're still fighting cancer, and now apparently that includes more surgery, more blood draws for cancer markers, and CAT scans coming up in about 3 weeks. And we'll post for you then. Some things in life are just so amazing to pass by too quickly. Take a moment and smell the roses. Thank you so much for being with us. Yeti at large.